In today's video, I show you Beast miniatures. But before we get into today's video, just want to share with you what the GGGGs are for this month. Each month, Bob the Beholder picks some of my Patreon supporters to receive gratitude gifts. And for this month of October of 2023, we have this printed and painted Forbidden War terrain set. We have 2 pledges for the Forbidden War Kickstarter that's going on right now. We have 2 pledges for the Torch and Shield Kickstarter. Either the Thane or the digital pledge. Winners get to pick. And finally, we have 2 free memberships for Beast miniatures. So go ahead and use the link below to go to my Patreon page if you want to find out more information, as we're going to continue to add more items onto the gratitude gift list. It only takes $1 to have the chance to be chosen by Bob for the gratitude gift at the end of the month. So Fred from Beast War Miniatures did reach out to me, and he provided this STL file for me to be able to print out. And this is a new format that I'm doing just when I am reviewing miniatures, even though this is at 75mm scale that I'm showing here on the screen. I thought it'd just be better for you to be able to see the miniature itself rather than just my face and a tiny little miniature that I can't really show on screen. So I'm trying out this new format. Just comment below if you like this or not. But he did reach out and originally wanted me to do a review of their most recent Kickstarter, which were like these insectoid alien guys, STL files, but I didn't have enough time to do that. But I did agree to do his next project, which is part of his regular website as well as his Patreon page. And that we're going to go ahead and go through that website together. I'm going to show you that, as well as show you a painting tutorial for how I painted up this miniature, which I think turned out really good. I had to rush to get it done in time for this video, but I think she turned out so awesome. So go ahead and use the timestamps below. Also, in the middle of the video, I am going to be showcasing the Sunlu Standard Plus resin. They just sent this to me and wanted me to do a review, so I am going to do a quick review of this resin, which I used for some of my prints. So I'm going to be doing a quick comparison of that. Again, use the timestamps below. So this is just one of the models that Fred sent to me, and this was one of my favorites, so I went ahead and printed it out. And the reason why I printed this out, as well as the 32mm version of it, is because I just received Orctober, which was a campaign that I jumped in on, I think, at the beginning of this year, and they just delivered, so I needed an orc archer. So this fits the bill perfectly, and I'm going to be using that as I try out Orctober. Make sure to subscribe, because I'm going to be possibly doing a review of that game, so if you're interested, stay tuned for that. But these Beast miniatures, I think, are super high quality, and this is my first 75mm scale miniature that I have painted. And instead of my standard super quick contrast color paints that I did with the 32mm version and with a ton of my other miniatures, here I did go ahead and just use my standard painting method, which I prime everything black, and then I just do a quick brush zenithal of gray and then paint everything their normal color. So again, use the timestamps if you want to go see what the quick painting tutorial of how I ended up painting this model, and I think she turned out awesome. So we are going to go ahead and take a look throughout his website, and I can show you a bunch of the STLs. And this is one of the best deals that I found in terms of Patreon digital file producers, where you can actually, right now for the month of October, where you can get a free trial of being a supporter, a Patreon supporter, in order to receive all of his up-to-date files. So if you want, you can go ahead and sign up for that and take the 1-week trial for this month in October. You can download the files that you want to try out and do that. Now, I know you can game the system and just grab all the files that he has right now, which is a lot of them, but I do highly suggest and do support our digital artists and go ahead and just pay the really low $5 a month subscription to his Patreon page. That's going to give you access to continued files that he produces. And I definitely want to reward really high quality STL files, because for us resin printers, this is sort of a golden age of having access to all of the sculpts that we want or could ever desire or have. And I definitely want to reward Fred for all the hard work that he does. And he does have some really cool STLs that I plan on printing in the future, and possibly posting up some more how to paint tutorials. So let's go ahead now and go to his website and check out some of those items. Use the link below to go to his website. This is beastminiatures.com, and right now he is showcasing the October special, where you can get it all for $5 per month. Again, I'm going to show you that page. It's normally $9 per month, so this is a pretty good deal. And it is limited, the number of people that can get it at this price. So make sure you jump on in that if you want this discount. But again, there's a 1-week trial period where you can download all of these miniatures. You can just peruse what is here on his site. So just let's go ahead and explore here and see what some of his previous files are. So again, right now for the month of October, he's calling it Orctober, where he is releasing a number of orc files, which I did print up one of them. So Kragar, he looks super awesome with these double axes that he is holding. This is super cool. I think she actually looks a lot like Moki Lonewind, which is the figure that I printed out, but it looks like her on the throne, although she is called Ellet Skull Splitter. Let's go ahead and click on that just to get a better picture of her. So on the throne, so that's sort of cool as well. We have this dice tower, which is super cool. Check that out. And it looks like you can purchase these based off of credit. I'm not sure how much a credit is if you don't want to become a subscriber, but this looks totally awesome. This Cassandra Blackheart, this is probably going to be the next one that I print out personally. I mean, look at this necromancer raising up this undead, which I think looks so cool. But you have all of these various miniatures. I mean, look at this one. This is another super cool one here. And then I mentioned the Kickstarter, and this Kickstarter is over already, but this is just a sample of his super cool bug alien characters, if you've ever wanted to field that theme for a warband. So super cool. Go ahead and feel free to peruse through this catalog of previous STL files that you can have. And some terrain. We have some busts. I mean, just so many different files. So very impressed with all of these. Let's go ahead and go over to his Patreon page. You can become a member without actually being a paid patron, but this is pretty reasonable. Even the regular rate of $9 per month, and all of these you can start a 7-day free trial, which is exclusive right now, and the $5 discounted rate is limited. It has 82 remaining pledges that are available. So again, jump on that, which is relatively cheap. And each week you're going to get new miniatures, and you have access to the Discord community, which I'm really thankful for, because you might, if you do have any issues or problems with printing, then you can access Discord and receive some advice about your printer settings and what the best settings are to print these miniatures out with. Now, I did print this out on my GK2, which is a relatively new printer for me, but I've been super happy with it, and I had no issues. All of the entire piece printed out as one piece, and I was able to remove the supports, although the supports were sort of thick and there was some scarring that did happen that I had to file down. So probably could get away with even thinner supports if your settings are right, but I would prefer thicker rather than thinner and have a print not fail. But again, here are some of the posts that he has. And this is just Orctober that he was promoting before this month started. So go ahead and feel free to peruse, but it's relatively easy. Again, if you just want to start a 7-day free trial, you can easily do that and check out and actually download a bunch of these minis. Again, for my Patreon supporters, there's 2 gratitude gifts where 2 of you are going to be receiving your pledge for free. So you'll be saving $5 with that. And I did ask Fred what he meant by unlimited downloads, because typically with my other Patreon accounts that I'm supporting, I do download the miniatures and store them just locally. But I think this means that even if you stop your subscription, you still have access to all of the files up to that point that you cancel your subscription. So I guess some other Patreon digital creators limit the number of downloads that you might have. Also, I know, for example, Archvillain Games, once I subscribe, I can't have access to all of their previous files up to that point. So maybe that is what Fred is talking about. But nonetheless, I think these are actually really good deals, especially if you're looking for both 32mm standard miniatures that you're going to be playing with, in addition to having sort of centerpiece 75mm versions that you can just put in your display case or on your desk. Hey, I want to take a break here and talk to you about Sunlu's new Standard Plus, and I printed out to do a comparison, and let's go ahead and dive into that. All right, so I've shown you these 2 in previous video where I was showcasing the new red wax Sunlu resin that came out, and during that video I basically said that I couldn't tell the difference between the standard Sunlu resin, which is here to the right, the gray, and the quality of the red wax. So red wax is supposed to be higher detail and able to work with 8K and above printers, but I honestly couldn't tell the quality difference between the 2. I think it's a little bit easier to see the details just because of the color difference, but in terms of detail, I really couldn't tell the difference. So when they sent the Sunlu Plus, I printed out the same thing, and ignore this. This was user error, not a fault of the resin, but again, I just cannot tell detail level a difference really. So let me compare it mostly with the standard because they're both gray. So the Standard Plus is on the left and the regular standard here is on the right. And other than the color being a little bit darker, and I use the exact same settings for these 2 prints, didn't change the settings at all, same supports. And again, I just am not able to tell. There's just a little bit more hairs down here at the bottom from the supports. That's just left over from the supports. I don't think it's intentional there, but just wanted to show you that for whatever reason, more of the hairs stuck on when I pulled off the supports. But really, I mean, again, this might be user error on my part where my resin printer is an 8K, so maybe you need to go up to like 12K max resolution to really be able to tell. But man, I am hard pressed to really say what the difference is between these 2. So sorry to Sunlu because they sent me these to do a review. Obviously they're confident that there is a major difference between the 2, but honestly I just can't see the quality difference. I mean, both of them are excellent. It isn't like maybe if the standard was so subpar that I was losing detail on them, maybe I would be able to see that this is a lot better. But you tell me in the comments below if you think you can see a qualitative difference between the Sunlu Plus, Standard Plus, and the standard resin. So I did print out this model with the standard just because that was what it was left over in the vat after running my tests. Alright, so now I wanted to do a strength test between the standard and the standard plus. So here is the standard here on the left. Again, it's a little bit lighter gray. And here is the standard plus. And these are the Viking miniatures that I printed out from Artisan Guild. So I already broke her spear here when I was testing it myself. So I apologize for that. But I'm going to show you that obviously on the delicate parts it's going to break more often. And I wanted to see if the standard plus was tougher. I mean, here's the standard right here, and there is flexibility on this, but let's see how far we have to press in order to see. It broke right there, but it was flexing quite a bit. Like here again, there's quite a bit of flexibility, but eventually it does break. And let me show you here. There again, flexibility. I feel like there's the same amount of flexibility and it will break. So I can't tell if there is better toughness or greater flexibility with the plus, which is here on the right. I mean, both of them work pretty well. As long as you're not manhandling your miniatures, you're not going to break them. But if I were to drop these, I do think that these thin parts would break, and possibly up here at the top, but I don't think the arms would break or anything like that. So not seeing a huge difference with the durability of the plus. Now let's compare that to here. This is my go-to resin for miniatures, and that is using the Sunlu ABS-like, not the standard, but the ABS-like, and combining it with 10% of the Ceratec Tough. And that has been the formula that a number of my Patreon supporters have suggested, and that's what I've been using. And I'm not going to break this spear, but there is flexibility and give, and it feels like there is more with this version. So I did print this out so that I could do a flex test on this comparable sort of thin spear. So as you can see, it is quite flexible. And I do notice that when I'm pulling off the supports with this combination of the ABS-like and the Ceratec, the supports are way more flexible. So I feel like there's more durability with the ABS plus the Ceratec than there is with the standard plus. Sorry, I don't have just pure ABS, so I can't compare that, but I do think that the pure ABS is more durable, and then the Ceratec, combining 10% Ceratec just makes it that much more durable. So let's see how far I can flex this before it breaks. So it's quite a bit more. Look at that. I mean, it still hasn't snapped. So, in fact, I can just bend it back afterwards and it's still okay. So this is significantly more durable. Look at that. See that? So obviously this is way more durable than either of these standard resins. I think the Ceratec toughness adds a lot of flexibility to these. So again, I'm not going to stray for my go-to formula of the Sunlu ABS-like combined with the Ceratec. That's what I'm going to use for most of my miniatures because I want these guys to be durable and not break when I drop them. So that's my conclusion overall. So not a huge difference, I think, between the standard and the standard plus. So far I haven't seen in terms of the detail level, it's exactly the same to me, nor do I see difference in terms of durability. So at this point, you know, you're going to win out using either one because they're about the same level of detail. So pick whichever one is cheaper. My guess is that the standard regular will be cheaper than the standard plus, but I'm not 100% sure on what the pricing is going to be. So there you have it. Hopefully this video was helpful for you. Go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe, as I'm going to be coming out with more videos, not only of miniatures, but also of terrain. And go ahead and use the links to go to Fred's site and pick up some Beast Wars STLs, especially since it is now entering into the holiday season. These are going to be great files, either to print out yourself or to give to your favorite hobbyist so that they can print some of these out as a gift. Relatively cheap gift, so giving you access to all of these files. Go ahead and use the link to check those out for yourself. Also, use the link to go to my Patreon page where you can receive one of the gratitude gifts for this month, as Bob is going to be making that draw at the end of the month. So stick around if you are interested in just seeing a quick painting tutorial of how I did paint up this awesome miniature. Otherwise, happy painting, happy gaming. We'll see you next time.